We are back with part 4 of Breakdancing Dad Update. Why I went to jail. Right now he's in jail because he only paid his wife $1.7 million in 2006 to say, hey, let's not do this court battle. Here's all the money I have. Let's just move on with our lives. But it wasn't quite enough, so she got him sent to jail for potentially a year.
In fact, that was the main topic of conversation. We concluded that what I needed to do was write a letter to the judge and offer a payment plan. We talked about how much I would offer. I thought maybe $2,000 a month. They all thought that was way too much. Problem is, if you can't come up with that money every month, you'll be right back here, said the MS-13 guy who was covered in tattoos, including tattoos on his face. Offer her $300 a month, said the white guy with a Nazi swastika tattoo on his neck who looked like Charles Manson. I settled on offering $1,000 per month to Judge Leslie Alden and then see what happens. Everyone in my cell block thought that was way too much. But I had to get out of there. I also figured that Judge Alden isn't stupid. She must know I can't pay my ex anything sitting in here. And my ex is supposed to be getting $12,000 a month. But I could not pay that sitting in there. So it was in everyone's interest to get me out of there pronto, so I could start making money again. The problem is I could not get a pen. We were not allowed to have anything that could be used as a weapon. After 3 days in there, I got a visit from the head of the prison, the warden himself. He came all the way down to the deepest, darkest hole in the prison to find out what I had done to end up here. Out of the 1,800 inmates, he wanted to talk to me, Ben Hart. I guess my file had landed on his desk, and I guess I was the talk of the prison, and he wanted to hear the story. So how did you get 148,000?
Well, you can imagine a warden. There's actually like actual criminals in there, and this guy, it's like, sentence him to a year, give him the maximum. It's insane. It's completely insane. It's a waste of so much resources. It's a waste of the court's time. It's a waste of this jail. Like, it costs money to just have somebody in jail. It's so demented. This has to become a movie, man. Someone has to make a movie about this breakdancing dad and him going to jail. Like, it's just so insane.
$1,000 behind on your child support, he asked. And why did the judge put you in here? The warden was looking at me through these bars in this small window in the steel door of our cell block. I explained that I had not gotten $148,000 behind on my child support. And then I went through all the basic details of how I paid her close to $1.7 million plus $12,000 a month of support, and all payments were made. But I had fallen $100,000 short on the $1.8 million I had agreed to. Then the judge tacked on another $48,000 for Betsy's attorney's fees and for interest. So I just wasn't able to come up with that final $100,000 plus $48,000. Who was the judge, the warden asked. Judge Leslie Alden, I answered. That explains it, said the warden. She's a real man-hater. Looks like you really pissed her off. He paused. He looked at his file of papers on me. Then he said, even though you've been sentenced here, I'm moving you to work release. Trouble is, we don't have any jobs for you that will help you pay off this $148,000 debt. The jobs we have pay $7 an hour. People who are here because they are behind on their child support pay their child support that way. But this is not going to help you get out of your situation. But let me see what I can do about this. I can't have you down here. About a day later, guards arrive, and they take me to the work release facility. This was low security, so I was able to get a pen and a piece of paper and write a letter to Judge Leslie Alden with my proposal to pay my ex $1,000 per month toward the $148,000 that I owed her, plus keep up with my other obligations under the divorce decree. I didn't hear anything back. I thought, welp, I guess I'm here for a year. I started to accommodate myself to this reality. It's amazing how humans can get used to almost any reality over time. Whatever your situation is becomes the new normal, the new baseline for existence.
And that's what's happening with his children, right? Well, I don't know. I don't think they believe this at all. This him being a deadbeat, this this bullshit that they're peddling. I think they know it's false, and they just want to squeeze more money out of them. That's what's happening. They're blackmailing them. They know they're blackmailing them. They know they're evil. They know what they're doing. They've planned this. They've coordinated this. The mom and the two daughters have coordinated this.
And I met some very interesting people in there, including a high-powered attorney who was in there on some kind of fraud. I became friends with a tall black kid named Alan. He was about 6'6" and was a martial arts expert. When he wanted to watch a particular TV show, he would stand in front of the TV in a martial arts pose so that no one would dare try to change the channel. And he and I would have contests to find out who is the, quote, better man. We would have push-up contests, chin-up contests, play ping pong, Monopoly, and chess. Pretty much any game we could think of. And he was a good kid, but he was very rambunctious. He was maybe age 18 or 19. And I'm not sure what he was in there for, probably marijuana possession or something like that. And what he liked to do is practice his karate kicks and punches that would stop 1 inch from my nose. And I told him, Alan, stop doing that. See all these cameras around here? They're going to think you're violent. They're going to take you out of here and put you down in the hole. But Alan was a good kid, just had a lot of energy. And about half the guys, I would say at least half the guys in the work release program in the jail were there because they could not make child support or alimony payments. America's jails are filled with these guys.
That's insane. That's so insane. How is that good for anyone's children? You know, and you got to think about more than just the children, right? Well, first of all, it's bad for them because, like he said, it doesn't allow them even the chance to make any money. But these laws put men in this position where they have to pay this insane level of child support in America. So it's reasonable that they get in a situation where they can't make the payments anymore. But then, not only are you depriving the child of that father's ability to even make money, to give them anything, but you're depriving them of their father by imprisoning them. It's freaking demented. How is that good for children? And like the damage that does to the father, it derails their entire life. Like he's there with this like crazy like martial arts kid, and then Big Daddy. It's like, man, so many bad things can happen. You can get killed in jail. Well, how is this good for children? America, what are you doing?
So-called deadbeat dads. And I did not realize until then that yes, we do indeed still have debtors' prisons in America.
A year in jail. A year. Think of the psychological torment of spending a year in jail. Like, watch that 60 Days In. A lot of people, it seems like maybe a quarter of the people crack within like a week. They're like, I can't even do this. They're literally just volunteering to go into a jail for 60 days. So 2 months in a jail. And they're just like, I can't even do a week. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm going in knowing that I'm going to get out, that I'm not really a prisoner. And I can't even do that. I can't even handle that. I can't even handle like 2 days of it. An entire year? Oh my God. And you can get more time probably. Oh wow. Like, say somebody just starts stabbing you or something, right? You get in like a crazy fight. You're going to not fight back? You got to fight back because you might just get killed. But then all of a sudden you're in a fight, and all of a sudden, oh, you get like another year of time.
About 5 days had passed since I had sent my letter to Judge Leslie Alden, offering to pay Betsy $1,000 per month toward the $148,000 I owed her. Again, this would be an additional $1,000 per month on top of the $12,000 per month I was already obligated to pay under the divorce decree. I hadn't heard anything from Judge Alden.
This is so insane. Like, this is the craziest video I've ever seen. I am amazed.
Didn't know if the judge even received my letter. I assumed not. But then one day around 5 p.m., I was on my bunk bed reading, and I heard a guard yell, "Hart! Benjamin Hart! Benjamin Hart! Is Benjamin Hart in here?" "Yeah, that's me," I said. "Come get your shit and get out of here," the guard said. So I went to the booth where they had my stuff. It was all in a plastic bag. My business suit was wrinkled and a mess, but everything was in there. My wallet, my watch, my phone. I called my girlfriend Wanda, who would become my wife a couple months later. I figured any girlfriend who would put up with this is definitely wife material. I was broken in jail, but she had not run for the tall grass to disappear. I told her I was being released and asked her if she could pick me up. I had been there for 8 days and 8 nights, and I got out of my orange jumpsuit and back into my wrinkled business suit. And the warden was there to meet me on my way out. He had a bemused look on his face. "You'd better write fast and write every day to keep up with your payments," he said. "I don't want to see you back here." "Thank you," I said. "Thank you for getting me out of the hole and up here. I'm not planning on coming back." The problem was, I still had to pay my ex $12,000 per month, plus now $1,000 per month, for a total of $13,000 per month. This was no joke, especially since I had no business anymore. All my clients were gone.
So this is what I mean about the difference between, like, this guy makes a huge amount of money, but it would be like nowhere near that in other countries.
I left jail with $5 in the bank, no clients, and no business. Wanda was my girlfriend. I had met her at a karaoke bar. She's an immigrant from Laos. I call her my best girl. After jail, Wanda and I existed by maxing out my credit cards and Wanda's credit cards to the tune of $65,000 while I rebuilt.
The future
Yeah, I
of
mean,
your
you have
business
literally
is
no other
here.
option.
With Wix, you get advanced AI.
I needed to figure out a business that did not involve having clients, that Betsy could subpoena and depose. So I developed an online marketing education business. I charged people $38 per month for my online marketing seminars. And I got the business up to about 1,000 students pretty quickly. By April of 2007, I thought I was financially strong enough to move to Illinois. Oh, and that $1,000 per month extra, additional, that I was supposed to pay toward my $148,000 debt, well, that was temporary. To stay out of jail, I had to promise to Judge Alden that I would pay it all off in 24 months, or it would be back in the slammer for me. And by the way, when I say I paid Betsy $12,000 per month, that's kind of shorthand. Here's where that number comes from, because Betsy is challenging this number. Well, here's what it was. $4,000 per month for alimony, $4,600 per month for child support until age 22 for each child, $800 per month for the college fund, $1,000 per month for life insurance, $400 per month toward Betsy's health insurance, $1,000 per month for health insurance for the kids, and there were about $1,000 in monthly costs for out-of-pocket medical expenses. Medical costs, by the way, included not just the usual things that we consider to be medical costs, things like broken leg or need some stitches, have a fever, things like that. These out-of-pocket medical costs also included counseling and therapy sessions for the kids, eyeglasses, contact lenses, braces, and so forth. And these were not covered by insurance. Betsy also seemed to like to rack up extra unnecessary medical costs just to stick it to me. Constantly taking the kids to doctors who were out of network, so weren't covered by insurance. And we actually had a lawsuit over this in 2016. So there was that aspect. So it was really more than $12,000 per month for support. So Wanda and I were able to move out there in April of 2007. We move into the Homestead Inn in Lombard, Illinois, while we look for a place to live in LaGrange near the kids. Betsy is warning me in emails and frantic text messages not to move there. She says I'll regret it if I do. Then one Saturday, I think it was the second Saturday we were there, I swing by the house to pick up the kids. We go to breakfast and putt-putt golf. After breakfast, Tori did not want to go to putt-putt golf. She wanted to be dropped off at home. So I dropped her off at home. It was then me, Pete, Maddie, and Olivia at putt-putt golf. And I bring them home to Betsy's house. When I arrive, Betsy is standing there. I get out of the car. Betsy walks over to talk to me. She shows me her iPod. iPods were a big thing in 2007. She informs me that she's been recording all of our conversations, including when I guess I called her a bunch of names. And we'd been having a lot of nasty conversations. I didn't really know what might be on that iPod. And as she was holding the iPod into my face, I guess to record what was happening, I quickly snatched the iPod out of her hand and headed for the car. Betsy then jumped on my back as I was trying to get into the car, and I managed to shake her off. But she dives into the car after me and is sprawled across my lap trying to get the iPod. I toss her out of the car as I'm taking off. And this is important because Maddie believes, and I'll quote Maddie's text message just the other day on this. Maddie says about her video that, quote, "I could have made you look so much worse. I didn't post anything about when you forced mom into the car and drove away with her," end quote. I didn't force Betsy into the car. She jumped on my back to try to get the iPod.
I believe his version of these events already. Haven't even gotten the other side of the story, but I mean, yeah.
And followed me into the car. Why would I try to force Betsy into the car? I'm trying to get away from Betsy with the iPod.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah. Well, the thing is, his daughters aren't trying to see reason, because obviously, yeah, men want nothing to do with their exes in these scenarios. Like they just want to spend time with the kids. They don't care about their loser ex. So his version makes total sense, but his daughters don't care. They really don't care at all. Maybe they do, but they're blackmailing you. Maybe they don't know that they're blackmailing you. Maybe their mom has manipulated them to not understand that they're blackmailing you, but that is what's happening. So it's either that the mom has manipulated the daughter so much that they've fallen for this scheme to where they're blackmailing you, sir, or they're all in it together and they're all blackmailing you. Hard to tell, but it is possible that the kids don't actually understand that they're blackmailing him.
But this is the story that the kids
Right
have
now.
been told by Betsy. And they probably saw some commotion, some sort of struggle, which was Betsy on my back trying to get the iPod and following me into the car. And on the way back to the homestead, I throw the iPod out the window. And I'm told by my lawyer later that that was a big mistake because surreptitious recording of conversations is a crime in Illinois. Meanwhile, Betsy went to the police in Western Springs and filed a domestic violence charge against me. She also filed a charge for theft of the iPod. Wanda and I went to a restaurant called Miller's Pub, which is right next to the homestead where we were staying, and we saw the police show up. We watch. After the police leave, we go to our room quickly to get all our stuff. The front desk tells me the police are looking for me. So we decide to drive to Maryland where Wanda's family lives and regroup. We stayed there until December. We were basically in hiding. I needed time to build up my internet business so I could return to Illinois and hire lawyers. And I stopped paying Betsy any support for a while I built up my finances. By December, I felt I had the finances to be able to pay off Betsy, all the back support, plus hire a lawyer. The problem, of course, was that I knew that if I showed up in Illinois, I would be arrested. There was a warrant out for my arrest. So Wanda and I snuck back into Illinois. I hired a lawyer. Then I turned myself in, spent the night in jail, got out on bond by putting up $300, and began a series of 6-month legal proceedings. The judge and the prosecutors in this case said my snatching of the iPod out of Betsy's hand was technically assault and theft. So in exchange for no trial and no conviction on the matter, I agreed with the court to attend some conflict de-escalation classes and agree to pay Betsy $120 for the iPod. The conflict...
That's ridiculous. She, attacks him. And he has to do some conflict resolution bullshit.
De-escalation classes were actually very good. They were taught by a retired hostage negotiator. Everyone should take this class. There would be far fewer deaths from road rage incidents and whatnot. The issues people fight over are really just so stupid 99% of the time. We're all going to be dead soon. Is the issue that you're fighting over really that important?
She's trying to squeeze every penny out of you. To this day, she's trying to squeeze every penny out of you. So it's pretty important to her. Yeah, it's not important to you, and it's not important to sane people. But you're not dealing with a sane person. You're dealing with a greedy, goblin, evil piece of crap.
Wouldn't it be better just to enjoy life? and to be thankful for every day that you have on this beautiful ball we call Earth?
No, people choose to exist in negativity and selfishness and greed.
Meanwhile, Betsy had obtained a
It's a far worse way to live. Like, your ex-wife is choosing to live in pure evil, and it's infecting your children. And that sucks. That really sucks. Because, yeah, people could just be positive. Could be like, hey, I just got $1.7 million in 2006. You could have bought, like, 2 homes. You could have bought a home in, like, the cost of houses. If you just bought, like, 2006, let's say you buy like 10 properties and you rent, if she was renting out a bunch of them, like she could have bought full on houses, 10 houses, and rented out 9 of them. It's a little excessive, but it's possible. And that could have been her career. And then if she sold them like today or like in 2001, or not 2001, 2021, yeah, she would be, she'd have millions. So she could have just taken the W, the millions of dollars. She would have been, say, she would have been generating money from renting those properties for all these years. She would have made millions from that, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the math of it, but say she makes millions from that, sells them all in 2021, retires. That's it. She had an easy life put out before her, but she just wanted more and more and more. And she got more from you, but at the cost of her entire life, her being this money-grubbing piece of human shit. This evil piece of crap who is now being exposed, thankfully. Wow.
protective order.
Just existing in negativity and greed and shittiness, and then passing that on to your children. What an evil piece of shit this woman is.
Had filed a motion to prevent visitation. Here is Betsy's motion to prevent visitation.
Wow.
It's actually titled Motion to Strike
Really?
Petitioner's Petition for Visitation and Motion for Sanctions. This all cost me another $30,000 or so to overcome. Betsy's goal here was for me not to be able to see the kids at all. Ever. And the kids, of course, had no understanding that all this was going on.
Yeah, and the whole time, your ex-wife is doing this, she's blaming it all on you. Every problem she has, every problem the kids have is because of you. Somehow. Magically. Right? And that's why the kids are buying it, and that's why they're blackmailing you today. Is because they bought it then, and they've never stopped buying into her evil narrative. Her lies.
To them, it looked like I had abandoned them. And to them, it looked like some scuffle had occurred between me and Betsy on the street outside her house. And Betsy, I guess, told them I was trying to drag Betsy into the car. I guess for the purpose of kidnapping her? What sense does that make? The kids, of course, had little or no clue about all these legal battles going on. How I was both fighting financially and in the courts for more than 2 years to reestablish my right as a dad to have a relationship with my kids. I had no idea that Betsy would take every legal step imaginable to prevent me from moving to Illinois. And I ultimately overcame all of this. But it is easy to see why the girls think their dad abandoned the family. They had no idea all this was going on. And who knows what Betsy was telling them at home. The family law court in Chicago rejected Betsy's motion to prevent visitation, also threw out her protective order. In December of 2007, Wanda and I moved into a rental property in LaGrange, a bit more than a mile down the street. I then saw the kids at least once a week, often more. I saw my son Peter throughout the week. I generally saw the girls once a week. And of course I was available anytime they wanted to hang out. And as I said, in 2011, Wanda and I bought a house in Willowbrook, Illinois, which is an 8-minute drive from the kids. It's a nice house, has a swimming pool, with a water slide. But hostilities from Betsy were still high. And then she got remarried in 2012. And she moved 1 hour north. And the kids were older by this point.
Stop marrying these awful, evil women. Like, come on. How'd she get married again? What kind of moron decides to date like a mother of multiple kids who's received millions and is trying to squeeze every penny more out of this guy. This guy who's uprooted his whole life, who's had to go to jail, spend time with Big Daddy, and then moves to be way closer to the kids. Oh my God, this guy's doing... This bald man is doing everything right, and this woman's doing everything to squeeze the tiniest shekel out of him. And it's like, why would any man even date this woman? But actually to marry this woman? To marry this woman. What the hell? What the hell?
Pete was in college, attending Columbia College in downtown Chicago. Tori was a senior in high school, I think. Maddie was also in high school. Olivia was in middle school at that point. And at least once a week, I would make the trip 1 hour north to see the kids. Well, whoever wanted to hang out. I would often swing by Columbia College in downtown Chicago to pick up Peter. We would then head up the North Shore to pick up the girls, or whichever girls wanted to hang out. The girls were teenagers by this point. They often didn't want to hang out with their dad. They preferred to hang out with their friends. But sometimes they did go to breakfast, lunch, dinner, and or to a movie that we were going to. Everyone was pretty much free to do what they wanted to do. Hang out with me and Pete, or not. At any rate, as the years passed, I thought all the nastiness had pretty much dissipated. As I said, Betsy got remarried in 2012, married a cancer research doctor who founded and runs a cancer research institute that's affiliated with Northwestern University. They live in a $2.2 million house. She really has nothing to still be angry about. For years now, I thought we had pretty much gotten past all of this nastiness and bad feeling.
She's going to try to do this exact same thing to that guy, which really sucks, because that guy's like cancer research? Ew, dude, cancer research guy, get away from this woman. Oh my God. Like, can your research include like human experimentation on this woman? Like, my God, like
Yes, 2005 through 2007 was rough, and really through 2008. But all that just seems so long ago to me now. And as I said, just last year, Betsy invited me into her house for a glass of wine while I waited for one of the girls to arrive. Betsy said there's no need for you to sit in the driveway, just come on in. And we had a pleasant conversation. Last year, Betsy and I were in Boulder, Colorado for my youngest daughter Olivia's graduation from the University of...
We got to spread this video around. Like, this has to become popular. Because they're blackmailing him. His ex-wife is blackmailing him. That's why the daughter put out the video. That's why all of this is happening. She wants to try to squeeze more money out of him, and she's doing it by blackmailing him. That's what's happening. And the only way we can prevent it is to clear this guy's name through just spreading awareness. Just more people need to react to this. More people need, like, spread this video around, because this is messed up. Like, this is really bad. Like, I'm not a religious person at all. And I don't like to use the word evil too often, but this is evil. Like, this is insane. This is greed on a level that's just epic, just epically bad, and cruelty beyond belief. It's we got to spread the word. This guy, this breakdancing dad, the heck's his name? Ben Hart, you know? Ben Hart, you're awesome. Because this is how we stop people from being blackmailed. Is you say, hey, you're wrong. You want to slander this guy? Well, you're wrong. No one's going to believe you. Let this guy live his life. Screw you. You're not blackmailing him. We won't allow it. The internet will not allow it.
Colorado. And we had a very good time. Hung out with Olivia. Joked about this and that. Joked about a woman who wanted us to pay $750 each to attend her daughter's graduation party. And I guess Betsy paid the woman $300 for the party. And I'm like, are you kidding? I paid $0. I just showed up. Who charges people to attend their daughter's graduation party? So Betsy and I were joking about that while sipping wine at this party. But honestly, everything seemed fine between us until Maddie launched her video barrage against me a few weeks ago, which was really just out of the blue, out of nowhere. So I had to answer that. Just this past Christmas, we were all having a great time laughing and joking at dinner. But now the girls apparently have rallied around Maddie. I don't see why anybody needs to take sides. Peter's staying out of it. He says he's not following it, doesn't even really know what's going on. Of course he knows what's going on, but he just wants to stay out of it. So that's basically where things are at the moment. I'm not sure why all this bad feeling is suddenly coming out now.
Now, it could be opportunistic, right? Like, obviously, it's possible that the daughter, stupidly, not thinking about it, decided to just slander her dad because she's dumb and she's bitter and she blames all of her problems on him. And then the mom saw it as an opportunity, like, wait, let's escalate this. Let's blackmail him. He's getting this negative attention. Ooh, that's a way to get more money. I need more money from him. Let's squeeze more money out of him. And then the mom just devised this plan. It might not have been thought up beforehand. It could have been like somewhat reactionary. But since this started, the mom is definitely on the we will blackmail you train. That's where this is headed. That's what's going on, sir. Hopefully the internet will not allow you to be blackmailed. Like, everyone's siding with this guy, right? But we need to continue to, because we can't allow this to happen to him. Because sadly, it does happen to other people. It happens to people all the time. It happens locally. Like, I know stories of people being blackmailed. It sucks, and you can't allow it even once to happen to anybody.
No, there's really no need for all this negative energy. There never was a need for it. My hope is for everything to go back to the way it was this past Christmas, with everyone happy and getting along. And the way it has been for, well, since 2008 or so.
Yeah, this is insane. This has been an epic journey. This is the first video series that I've made on this. This is completely crazy. And I hope that the internet can squash this, can continue to stop this man from being blackmailed. And, they can all move on with their lives and be a happy family. I'm sure his see you next Tuesday of an ex-wife will do what she can to stop that from happening. But, I mean, yeah, she's just a bitter, lonely, old loser. See ya.